Don't believe what they want you to believe.
Good evening, true believers. Tonight, as we do once a month, we welcome you to put on your tinfoil hat and join us as we dive deep into the world of the weird, the macabre, the scary. This is Vin and Justin's Tinfoil Hat Society. I am your co-host, Justin, as always joined by my illustriously sexy... No, not.
I'm not built for sex appeal.
That's a lie.
Bountifully bearded?
I'm built for speed and precision. I'm Vin.
And joining us, as they do, our panel of lead skeptic.
Moi? I shall be Mike, as ever.
And the dude that just has no belief in anything.
I believe some things. Just some.
I believe I can fly.
I believe I could touch the sky.
And kids. I'm thinking we gotta get some, Doctor Strange music to have in the background. That kind of sitar stuff to really...
Make that happen.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Tonight, we're talking about the Denver airport.
People's luggage getting lost? Yeah, crazy, right?
Nah, bro.
All the time.
The Denver airport allegedly has some weird shit going on.
Funny, huh?
I watched a debunking video and I watched a bunkful video.
We should change the name of the show to Bunk Debunk.
We might have to. I've not seen any debunking videos. I've seen articles where people are like, "It's a fucking airport."
Yeah, I don't know, the lady was a little fucker. I didn't like her attitude.
Right? It's all fucking holier than thou.
Yeah, everything's just like, no, it's actually not that. Shut up.
Their science and their logic and their explanations.
Yeah, it's the attitude.
Is there smarm? Was there too much smarm involved? Is it like watching back-to-back episodes of Bill Maher?
Yeah. There's too much smart.
Everything has this easy, tight-knit explanation to explain it away, but you just kind of go, oh, really? That's why there's a Nazi with a sword up a pigeon's ass? That's why? It's just a coincidence, and it's this guy expressing himself.
I figured you were saying, I might actually believe you if you weren't a twat about it.
Exactly, see?
That's what I'm saying.
All about the attitude.
If you want a Mr. Rogers me, at least present yourself like Mr. Rogers. You know?
If you're going to talk down to me, pat me on the head, don't smack me on the ass.
Mm-hmm. Even before construction began in September 1989, there were a number of Denver International Airport conspiracy theories. Arguably, the tamest of these, or those that would follow, was that there was no need for the airport in the first place, and that its construction was a subterfuge designed to hide or disguise the construction of other, far more nefarious structures. In fact, despite claims that Stapleton International Airport was perfectly serviceable, the concourse crowding and tightly packed runways often created schedule disruptions on a national and even international level wherever there was inclement weather in the region. The wild conspiracies didn't end there, however. In fact, the initial claims barely scratched the surface and couldn't foretell the theories that would arise once the facility's construction was completed. It's hardly possible to construct a precise timeline of which notion first burst onto the scene, or the subsequent claims that pop up on an almost daily basis. So here we go. Nazi runway models. One of the more prevalent theories is that the runways at Denver International Airport are arranged to form a swastika as a tribute to the fascist New World Order. As can be seen below, there's a map they show. This one isn't quite as far-fetched as it may seem upon hearing the claim. The layout does bear a resemblance to the notorious symbol, particularly if you choose to selectively ignore some parts of the scheme. Far from the nefarious claims, however, the reasoning behind this configuration is pretty straightforward, so they claim. Simply put, having the various runways splayed out in this pinwheel design makes it easier for multiple runways to be used at once and minimizes the chance of having to shut down all runways during inclement weather or strong winds. Thoughts?
It kind of makes sense. Like, I'm looking at it right now, and okay, if you squint, you could see a swastika, but it's not a swastika. And the notion that you can get flights in from different angles makes a lot of sense.
Vin?
I just think it's sad that people always mention Hitler just ruined that mustache, but he also ruined the swastika because it was around for thousands of years prior to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know that maybe the people that made it, maybe they were Native American? Because they had that shit.
There's one left, though.
Did it?
Yeah, that one, it's...
Still, give me the left one. Let's make the left one cool again. How do we do that? Didn't Kanye try? Anyway.
He went full Nazi.
I buy it. There's no bunk there. These people are psychos. As Justin continues, you'll understand my argument based on what he says. Did you go into the pricing yet? The budget?
No, I didn't get to it. We're not getting there yet. I'm going to try to break this one piece by piece. Joe?
I just see runways.
So we took Nazis after World War II, and none of them designed an airport, had children who designed airports.
Denver Airport.
Are you going to Jamie me right now? Damn it.
Nope. Just going.
Just looking for facts.
None of them.
Yep.
None of them are currently in the White House right now.
Well, that's a whole different bag of rotten eggs. Basket. Hen house. Anyway. Sure, it's weird. Good. I want to pull up other airports to see how their runways are. But before we move on completely, I think that wording was completely horrible in the article.
Which one?
Denver runway models. Am I the only person who thought that they're Nazi runway models? Who thought it was literally women walking down a catwalk in Nazi outfits?
That sounds.
I didn't until right now.
Yeah.
I had display dummies in my head, like at the mall, just wearing Nazi outfits up and down the runway. Which may be dumber, but also maybe cooler.
I pictured the chicks in the background of a Robert Palmer video, who's stepping.
Yeah.
It was simply irresistible.
9. Next up, not that close encounters. One of the stranger and most easily dismissed, they say, claims began with an anonymous individual watching or rewatching the 1977 Steven Spielberg classic Close Encounters of the Third Kind. In the film, a mysterious broadcast purportedly reveals the coordinates for Devil's Tower, a Wyoming landmark that is pivotal to the story. However, for some unknown reason, the coordinates don't actually correspond to the location of said landmark. Years later, the mystery of the strange coordinates was revealed. They actually indicated the future location of, you guessed it, the Denver International Airport, a dozen years before construction of the airfield began. Mind-blowing, isn't it? At least until you scrutinize the claim, at which point you'll discover that the numbers provided actually point to the longitude and latitude of Alt, Colorado, a small town in Weld County, while Alt, an acronym for a unique little town, is indeed closer to DIA than the Devil's Tower, still logs in at over 65 miles away from the airport, far enough away that if a DC-10 were to land there, it would likely make national news.
I'd like to thank Justin for not completely burying the lead on this one, for not trying to sell a false bill of lading, for setting it up and being like, but no, this one's nonsense.
Yeah. This one, I'm not even going to ask. We already know. That's get out of here with your craziness.
Yeah, that one was forced. That was very forced.
Next up, welcome to the New World. Few things immediately raise the hackles of conspiracy theorists as quickly as the phrase New World Order. And few organizations are as frequently targeted by conspiracy theories as the Freemasons. Given that the dedication capstone at the airport not only prominently features a Masonic crest, but also lists members of the New World Airport Commission, it should come as no surprise that the mere existence of this monument became a bit of an aha element in many of the more conspiratorial corners of the internet. One of the more prominent claims about the New World Airport Commission is that there is no such organization, and never has been. That this was a not-so-secret code for the, again you guessed it, nefarious and nebulous New World Order. The problem with this theory is that the organization not only is a real thing, but we here at Western History and Genealogy House 11 boxes of the Commission's archival documents. The very real, but also quite temporary, Commission was formed by Charles Ansbacher, chair of the State's Council on the Arts and Humanities. The purpose of the organization was primarily to promote and arrange festivities for the airport's opening, and as such disbanded shortly after the airport was opened for business. For the record, Mr. Ansbacher, a conductor for the Colorado Springs Symphony, named the committee for Dvorak's Symphony No. 9 in E minor from the New World, more commonly known as New World Symphony. In addition...
Okay.
Hang on.
With the last name, sounds like a Nazi now.
Mm-hmm. In addition to the capstone, there are inscriptions on the floor at various locations of the terminals, which have aroused the suspicions of some not-so-great internet sleuths. In many cases, there is a claim that the engravings are in some secret Kabbalistic language that nobody outside of some fetid secret society knows what they mean. In actuality, so they say, they are in Navajo, and the translations are as follows. Besh dit gal, a white metal, silver. Dizit dit gal, the mountain that is white, or more simply, White Mountain. Nineni Nieste, Tallow River, the translated Navajo name for the branch of the South Platte River which follows near the DIA. And Cisnagini, a mountain sacred to the Navajo people, said to be the eastern boundary of the Denita, Mount Blanca or Blanca Peak. In addition to the Navajo inscriptions, there's one other item inscribed on the floor, which has had quite a fuss made of it, despite being arguably the least mysterious of the lot. It's an image of a minecart with the cryptic letters AUAG inscribed within. You might be tempted to think, given that AU and AG are the chemical symbols for gold and silver respectively, that this image was a fairly straightforward acknowledgement of Colorado's history of mining both gold and silver, and you would be correct. However, that hasn't stopped this benign and innocuous design from raising alarm bells among people who can't take anything at face value. The claim relating to this inscription is that it secretly reveals the means by which the Illuminati, reptilians, and or New World Order will wipe out the bulk of humanity. The AUAG ostensibly refers to a virulent pathogen known as Australian antigen. Of course, an antigen is something that actually triggers an immune response, not a pathogen itself. Also, while there is in fact something called Australia antigen, so named because it was first found in an Australian Aboriginal patient, it is used to diagnose and treat hepatitis B, hardly something destined to wipe out all of humanity except the elites, and those destined to toil in the underground fungus mines under their watchful gaze.
I'm starting to think you chose this topic to make Loch Ness Monster seem more plausible.
I listened to a scripted podcast called Escaping Denver, which is about shit that takes place underneath the Denver airport. I love it. There's some more shit that's gonna come up that like gives you a little head nod. You're like, huh? Well, maybe. Some of this other stuff, maybe not so. Maybe we're reaching.
Yeah, so far the batting average is really bad. You put up 4 things, and only one of them has us going.
Here's what I will say.
What do you got for me, man?
If one is pretty close to being absolutely true, that kind of kicks the stones over to the other ones being a little bit more true, I think. Because you say, oh, you know, those are pretty far-fetched, and you go, well, hang on a second. This one's definitely trivial. Then you want to look back. Say, well, they're willing to do that.
But, like, we've already had... One is moderately bunked. 3 of them are debunked. Would the fact that one of them's still bunked make you disbelieve the debunking now? Because those are pretty straightforward answers.
It's a lot of bunking.
Like, a bunch of idiots looked at these things and were like, I don't know what this writing means. It must be some kind of evil language. It's Navajo, dipshit.
Well, if those people were white, evil language.
No, good point.
Well, you can't... Where do you learn Navajo in their defense?
Well,
In a book.
it's true because we slaughtered most of those people.
There's a Navajo book,
There's at least one Navajo book.
and they slaughtered each other, dude. Don't just blame it on the whites. They were at war here long before we got here.
Yeah.
We were just good at it too.
I didn't
We just
say-
joined the right team.
listen.
They joined the right team.
I didn't say I didn't say it was mostly the whites, but we didn't help.
Hey man, Wild West. What are you gonna do?
We're better now, though. Now that we have rules.
Well, now that we have drones, a little easier now.
Skeptical Joe.
Nah.
What point are we on?
I just nope. This whole thing just sounds so far fetched to me.
Damn, he said so far-fetched.
Yeah, you started with a kind of strong one. I won't deny.
Yeah,
The swastika layout even took me aback a little bit.
Right.
I had to really look at it, but it just seemed like this runway's pointing this way because these planes are coming from this way. This one's pointing this way because these planes are coming from this way. It just kind of makes sense.
I looked at the layouts of 3 other airports. Now, maybe it's because they were all East Coast ones, but none of them had more than 2 runways.
All right, now this next one was what Vinny was talking about,
I'm
and
going
it
to
is
compare it to...
it is probably the most like upfront.
Spooky.
Perhaps the most widely known clue to the airport's evil agenda was Leo Tenguma's 3-paneled mural titled Children of the World Dream of Peace. The painting, particularly the first panel, contains within it some disturbing imagery which has unsurprisingly stoked the imaginations of a great many people. There are many claims that it foretells the one world government, a fascistic future in which the New World Order, or the Illuminati, or the Reptilians, has wiped out most of the population and ruthlessly rules over what's left of humanity with an iron fist. Of course, once the overarching concept the artist had in mind is explained, the panels make more sense. First panel represents the horrors of war. With grieving parental figures, bombed-out buildings, and children sleeping in the rubble, the dominant central figure is a faceless soldier impaling a dove on the point of their sword. This is, without doubt, the panel that is most frequently cited for its sinister overtones, and often the remaining panels are not mentioned or shown. The second panel depicts impending disasters brought on by climate change. Dead animals are dotted throughout the painting on either side. Bodies of a woman and a child lie in coffins, illustrating that humans are not immune from the impact of the changing ecosystem. Children of various ethnicities look on with expressions of shock, horror, and dismay while behind them a forest burns. The final central panel is a scene of hope and optimism for the future. In it, people of all races and nationalities are seen embracing each other, smiling happily and singing. Weapons of war are bundled in nationalistic flags, with children bearing them forward to be beaten into plowshares. A broken statue of the soldier from the first panel lies buried and forgotten. And there you go. There's. Now, I have no doubt that this artist meant what he's saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is an odd choice for a fucking airport.
The message itself makes sense to me. You want to highlight the horrors of war, and then you want to highlight the potential horrors of ecological disaster, and then you want to give hope in the third one. That progression makes sense. I agree with you. The way it was handled, a bit too blunt. And from an artist's point of view, I don't like their figures. I don't know who did this, but I don't like their style. It looks like a bunch of Small World characters.
It does.
And you know how I feel about that. Has anyone else seen a lot of episodes of Parks and Rec?
I haven't watched it in a while, but
My
I'm
fair
ready
share.
to watch it.
You know how every so often they'll bring up the murals that are in the town hall?
Yeah.
And how they're all about atrocities against Native Americans? That's the kind of vibe I got here.
Yeah.
That, like, it just does not fit. I can't exactly put my finger on why.
It's weird.
It's extra strength weird.
Vin, what say ye?
Well, these secret societies and these people, they do this thing called doublespeak. And things do have deeper meanings. He'll just say, oh yeah, I put this fucked up imagery in an airport because I wanted to tell people about all, like, you know, the bad things, and then, you know, show some of the good. But when was this constructed?
It was constructed in '89, right? Who knows when the mural was made? Is it?
I don't have a date on the mural.
Okay.
Well, either way, I don't know. Like you were saying, it's really fucked up and trivial to put that in an airport. And like Mike's saying, it's not even that great of art.
Yeah.
But the imagery still, I don't know. I don't like it.
The one element of it that makes me believe what they're saying, and it was pointed out in what you just read, the soldier from the first panel showing up in the third in a deceased form,
Yeah.
tells the story. It's not like they're talking about the coming of the New World Order. We don't have to worry about Kevin Nash and Scott Hall coming in. It's not going to be too sweet. They're trying to portray hope. They just did it in a really weird way. Much like Star Wars, where siblings kiss, they portrayed hope in a really weird way.
Yeah.
The Denver airport has fire pits. Fire! Fire!
Also, secret tunnels to traffic children. Which also raises questions about those fucking pictures.
Could you imagine if It's a Small World started out like those first two murals?
No. In what way?
Like that kind of imagery was how you started the It's a Small World ride?
Be accurate. Not very Disney.
No. Excuse me. Another piece of artwork that receives more than its fair share of online attention is Mustang. The giant blue rearing horse statue with glowing red eyes, more commonly known by the nickname Blucifer. The fact that Luis Jimenez, the artist who created the sculpture, was killed when a piece of the artwork broke loose and severed an artery in his leg has undoubtedly helped fuel the rumors and speculation regarding the 32-foot tall creation. However, the so-called demonic nature of the installation remains unsubstantiated beyond the fact that people find it eerie. The red eyes, often pointed to as proof of its nefarious nature, were actually a tribute to the artist's father, who owned and operated a neon sign shop where Jimenez learned to weld and paint, and the value of working with his hands. His wife has also recounted a story of Jimenez investigating a noise late at night and being frightened by a pair of glowing red eyes in his living room. After his initial shock, he realized that they were those of his horse, Blackjack, who had somehow gotten into the house. Somehow, Skinwalker.
Or they left the door open.
Skinwalker. She speculates that he chose the red eyes to illustrate the point that sometimes things can seem frightening simply because they're unfamiliar or unexpected. Blackjack was also the model Jimenez used for the work, and the blue color was chosen because the horse was a blue Roan Appaloosa, a breed with a mix of black and white hairs, giving it a distinctive blue tint. I call bullshit. Lucifer is a demonic-looking horse. Also, could be a reference to Skinwalker's Vin.
I think Homeboy was into something fierce.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the demonic red eyes reminded me of my father because he used to beat the shit out of me. And he had neon signs.
Neon signs, red eyes, that matches.
Okay.
Yeah, it just seems weak.
No one's going to point out the most glaring issue with this demon horse.
The red veins.
The vein dick.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a veiny dick?
Hey, I don't know if there's a dick there. It just looks like a cluster of veins, because there's the veins coming up the side. On the one image I see where you can see the right side of it, the eye is like really glowing. You're getting that like those beams coming off. It truly looks demonic. But then you can see I guess that's supposed to be hair leading into the veins. But this is the saddest horse ever. For a 30 foot, it's barely packing a foot itself.
His original blueprint had a fucking giant horse cock. And they go, buddy, the Nazi murals, you can't have horse cock, okay?
What if it's not hanging down? What if it's just kind of going up like a kid's toy? Sometimes the dick is there, but it's just going up the stomach? Are you fucking serious right now? Lose the dick.
We're $2 billion over budget. We don't even have the materials.
You're lucky this horse is getting made at all. You're lucky we're letting you make a blue demon horse. Get rid of the cock.
Could you imagine? I guess his dad must have been passed away when he made that, because imagine seeing him like, oh, you made a blue, devilish, demonic horse in my honor. Wow.
Shit, alright. He's scary looking.
Do you hate me, son? How have I scarred you?
What the fuck did I do?
Yeah, this is horseshit. This makes every other one valid now. What's
That
next?
thing's scary looking.
That thing looks evil in the daylight.
Yeah.
Commissioned in '92 for $300,000. Wasn't erected till 2008.
As far as I'm concerned, it's never been erect.
Yo.
Yeah.
You
Jimenez wanted it.
be careful. You're gonna wake up in the middle of the night and there's gonna be a pair of fucking red eyes in your room
Suggested
talking
that
that
it was
shit.
Inspired by San Luis Valley, legends from San Luis Valley about a mythical blue horse could be a powerful leader among Mustangs. Have read it.
Hey
Into the
Joe.
microphone, Joe.
Hey Joe. No one can fucking hear you.
Oh, so I'm just reading about it. It says it's inspired by the legends from San Luis Valley about a mythical horse considered to be a powerful leader among Mustangs, said to have red eyes and sometimes capable of flying, corresponding to the blue Mustangs associated with the airport.
Every picture I see of this thing, it gets worse and worse.
It's fucking terrifying. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a close-up of the face. It's Garrett, I'm a demon horse. Don't mess with me.
Listen, tomorrow morning you're gonna text us and be like, I hate you, Justin.
This is actually a pretty cool pic. With like lightning in the background and
That is cool.
the storm from the Poltergeist movies coming in. Oh yeah.
The construction of the airport itself was rife with problems and setbacks, triggering an early onset of conspiratorial claims. One of the first was that the various problems with the design, the construction running wildly over budget, and even a badly timed metalwork strike were all due to the fact that the facility was being built on an ancient Native American burial ground. Note that no tribe or Native organization has ever made claims to that effect, as would be expected if that were the case. Also, the archaeological evidence suggests that, while the site may have been a hunting ground, there is no evidence of remains that one would expect in a burial ground. While the airport itself is home to a staggering amount of far-fetched misinformation, there is also a great degree of speculation as to what lies beneath the airport. One claim is that, in addition to the known runways, there are also secret runways buried just below the surface, which extend for 4 or 5 miles each. When the time comes, whatever time that may be, they can quickly be uncovered so that massive planes carrying the satanic global elites can be landed safely, ensuring that they are quickly ushered to safety in the underground bunkers. We'll get to those shortly. According to many unnamed anonymous sources, there is a vast underground complex beneath DIA. A variety of conspiracy sites claim that much of the chaos and turmoil during the airport's construction was actually deliberately engineered. Claim goes that by constantly altering plans, changing contractors, and shuffling around construction crews, nobody would have a clear picture of what exactly was being built. Well, nobody but the lizard people, of course. This claim is somewhat undermined by the fact that they also like to frequently cite one anonymous whistleblower who claimed to have worked on a construction crew and therefore know exactly what was being built. We'll stop here for a second. Now, let's take the claim of they intentionally did this by switching out crews and blah blah blah, so no one knew what was being built. That's a fairly intelligent way to keep people from figuring out what the fuck is being done.
H.H. Holmes did that.
Did he do a lot of the work himself, too?
Probably. But he always hired people, fire on midway.
But wasn't that also what Pacino's character did in Ocean's 13? He just kept hiring and firing architects so no one knew what the security system in the place was like?
Yeah, pretty much.
I never seen that one.
Love Ocean's 13. Every fucking picture of this horse gets worse and worse.
He's coming for you, Mike. He's gonna fucking mount you in your sleep.
There's a church of Lucifer.
Of course there fucking is.
And the guy who made him looks like a clone of H.R. Geiger. Of
Alright.
course he's kind of weirdo.
This brings us to the aforementioned underground bunkers. While it's true that there are a great many tunnels beneath the airport... Hey, this is important information. While it is true that there are a great many tunnels beneath the airport, the notion of what amounts to an underground city, as is often described, is fanciful at best. A facility the size of DIA requires a significant number of maintenance tunnels, not to mention the sheer amount of baggage that needs to be routed throughout. It's therefore not surprising that there is a substantial facility beneath the terminals. However, despite what Mr. Anonymous claims, there is no evidence of a 6-story deep complex, complete with everything needed to keep a colony of elites alive and well through a manufactured apocalypse of their own design. Now,
That we know of.
exactly, because we do know right here that there is a shit ton of things underneath the airport. So, I'm going to say it is possible that there is a bit more than what is known to the general public.
It would make perfect sense for an airport to house a bomb shelter.
Right.
Very, very true.
Which wouldn't be nefarious. It would actually be magnanimous.
Makes sense.
Now, I posit this to you. Since this has underground tunnels and we're concerned that it might be evil, would you also be willing to apply that to Disney World? Because they've got underground tunnels.
Yeah, I mean, I could.
Okay.
I'm not against it.
Alright. As long as you're playing things down the middle.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're a company about heroes and villains. Right?
Yeah. For some reason, they're making an entire park of villains.
Yeah, so I'm not... Listen, you fuck with the mouse, you're gonna disappear.
You're gonna get the ears?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna get the pixie dust. Think of happy thoughts.
Boy.
Look at the flowers.
Oh, look into your heart. Oh.
But I think that this could I think this is a deep underground military base.
Yeah. Well,
Not
no.
Denver.
If you know the tactical point of the airport in Denver itself, I think it's like a strategic. It's like a strategic distribution area, like for trade and shit. So, like, if that place goes down, I think we get a lot of shit from Canada.
That's a major hub.
Major hub. I can't think of the right words right now.
You got the Colorado River right there. You got the Rocky Mountains.
West Virginia, Alabama.
Country roads.
Everything east of Denver looks like Iowa.
Well,
That's awful.
there goes our market in Iowa, Joe.
Maybe that's
Well,
James Kirk's from Iowa.
Got to get it in there.
There we go. I don't know. I was in Denver once. Denver, I thought was a really cool city.
Denver, the last dinosaur.
I flew into it once too, but I think we got out pretty quick. I didn't look around.
I just drove through it. Well,
Yeah, went out pretty quick. But I don't know. 2-7, but I'm thinking that there's more bunk here.
Yeah, more bunk.
Yeah, give me the bunk.
I don't know about lizard men. But I'm gonna say military cover-up for sure.
I don't believe in lizard people. Fish people, maybe. They're easier to hide.
true. There's a lot of the ocean we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. Leap Day William.
What about when Biden was like a foot taller? Remember that? Who do you think that was? A lizard person.
I'm calling
I was gonna say osteoporosis.
osteoporosis.
No, he was a foot taller. It's reverse. And that was like, I think it was like one of the last few months he was president. He was like a foot taller next to his wife.
My question
That's
is,
lizard people.
my question to you, Vinny,
She got shorter.
is if Biden
Unreal.
was a lizard person,
Sure.
don't you think he would have stopped the election?
No, dude, they're all lizard people.
But
If
like,
the elections are WWF. Trump's a lizard person. They're playing lizard WWF. This is what these nerd dorks do. Our WWF, they punch each other, they bleed, they cry over like, oh, rights and stuff. That's their thing. They love that.
It's a theater for the masses.
Theater for them too. They love doing it. They love getting all jacked up. Then they'll go have steaks about it.
They steal
Human
each other's
steaks.
plans.
Yeah, like that was a good jab he got. He said back there. You told me to shut up. You got me.
You think like when they're in these committee meetings and stuff, and they're on C-SPAN, they're just so close to getting pissed off, and their frills almost come up. They're almost like Dilophosaurus at each other.
Dude, I forget what it was on, like what news channel it was on, but like I did see a news anchor go like, he like hissed at a guy like really bad.
No,
it was
no.
so fucking weird. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I've seen that video. And there was the other one with the fucking two sets of eyelids blink too. You've seen that one, right?
I have, unfortunately, and I want, in my mind, I'm like, I can't believe it, and I can't talk about it because everyone's like, okay, asshole, you saw it on the computer. But, like, you see it, and you're like, God damn it, that's really good CGI, or
Yeah, it's either the best fucking CGI I've ever witnessed in my life, some weird fucking birth defect, or there's a lizard person.
I saw that though. I know there's this cop in New York, and he was chasing a guy. And he was chasing him, and when he finally caught the dude turned around, and he blinked two sets of eyes, and it was like, whoa!
You're dead.
What the fuck? And the guy ran away. But
See,
then
this is what Vinny was just saying. We bring stuff up like this, and you gotta
yeah.
you make
There's
your
also
jokes.
there's the lizard guy who got the tongue pierced and he got his tongue cut, so his tongue's like this, and he's got tattoos all over his face.
Bumps and shit.
Yeah. That's a
I
lizard
hope
guy.
Lucifer puts his veiny dick in your faces while you sleep tonight.
Yeah, it's just so unreal. Everybody wants aliens to come down, but the moment you bring up an underground tunnel in Denver Airport,
Yep.
you're looked at as if you're crazy.
Yep. This is our plight. Anyways, I'm done with being harassed by the panel of Nah. Sounds like it's the end of a show to me.
Yeah.
Love being a panel of nah.
I think we need to make a panel of nah, sure.
Yeah, you do.
Joe and I
Yeah.
back to back, arms crossed.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If you like what you hear, follow us, facebook.com/nerdities, at nerdities on Twitter, because fuck Elon Musk, at nerdities on Instagram, nerdities@gmail.com if you want to reach out to us. Get ready, kids, sponsorships is coming. So you're going to be hearing some commercials. You don't like it? Tough shit.
We'll start a Patreon. If you want to pay for it without
Yeah, if you want to
commercials,
pay,
that's fine.
we need money. Especially because our economy is collapsing as we speak. Hey, friends in Canada, want to smuggle us over the border? We'd be
I
happy.
love Canada.
Who doesn't love poutine?
I'm willing to
Anyways,
say a boat. I don't care. I'll say a game.
yeah. ProWrestlingTees.com/nerdities. Buy our t-shirts. SinfulCreationsByJustin.com. While supplies last. It's going out of business, I think. So.
Oh, hey, Pat was wondering if you wanted to do like personal orders for friends. Would you be willing to?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. Let's do that. I say Michael.
The opinions of the Nerdies crew are idiotic and poorly thought out. Don't wait next week's week. Far more insulting.
We have a YouTube channel, but okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
shit!
fuck
I skipped Joe. Joe, I'm sorry. It was the Kyle of it all screwed me up. Anyways, let's backtrack that for a second. Joe, what did you say?
Check us out on youtube.com/nerdities. Hit subscribe, ring the bell to get notified when new content is coming.
New condoms?
Joe, is your programming okay?
No, I've definitely blown a couple circuits.
Your lizard brain's kicking in.
Yeah, it is.
It's gotta be. Am I getting greener?
No, there's no color difference. There's no fucking point.
Your V outside skin is holding up pretty nicely.
Give us money. Just give us money. Yeah.
What else do you need to say?
Yeah.
The opinions of the Nerdies crew, this time I mean it, are idiotic and poorly thought out. Wait, I mean it every time, but this time for the last time for the night. Don't worry. That makes me far more insulting. Brr.
Bye.
Alright, bye.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.